It's been a minute, but I'm here. All right, I am live. Listen, I'm going to dive right in. Have you been praying for clarity about what's next or even what your very next step should be? If you have been, listen, I get it. I am you. I've been there. I still move through this same space daily, if not weekly, right? So I get it. And one of the things that I know keeps successful people stuck in places and spending more time in seasons that are no longer serving them is because they lack the clarity, especially my high performers, because we are strategists, we are visionaries, we are executors, we are program managers, we are project managers, we are leaders in whatever spaces that we show up, right? And so without clarity about where we're going, we tend to do nothing because that is how we've been conditioned and that's how we've conditioned ourselves, right? So, what I'm going to share with you in just a few seconds is three ways that you can begin to gain the clarity that you've probably been praying for about what's next in totality for you, the big decision maybe that you've been losing sleep about. You know something is coming, you know something is on the horizon, whether it's by choice or by force, but you're not sure what it is, you're not sure how to go about it. There's a lot of uncertainty when it comes to the how. And so I'm going to dive in with you in just 1 second. So I'm not sure where you're watching this because this is going to be this is being streamed in multiple places. But in case you are new to me, I am Danielle, the coach. I'm a certified life and leadership coach. I help extremely successful and smart professionals navigate what's next without regret. What that looks like is it helping them make purpose driven pivots that honor who they are, the legacy that they've already built, and what they're called to do next, right? This is my lane, this is my space, this is what I do, and this is who I do it for. All right, so let's dive in. Clarity. So just this past weekend, I ended up attending kind of impromptu this scholarship and awards gala for an organization that I'm looking to partner with, right? So I'm not a member, but I started networking and I was invited to attend this scholarship and awards gala. So it was out of town and a little bit inconvenient for me, right? But I said, I'm gonna go for it, right? I thought about it for a while, and I decided like I'm gonna go for it. The room that I was in wasn't 100% unfamiliar, although I had never been in this specific room, but it's in a space that I have a background and a history. So, I felt comfortable. Even if I was going to be uncomfortable, it doesn't mean that I wasn't going to do it, right? So I ended up getting my ticket and I go to the gala, ended up getting a hotel room and staying in the same hotel where the gala was hosted. And I'll be honest with you, your girl in this season of life, I probably have been this way forever, but I'm owning it now. I'm a hotel snob, right? I don't like to just stay just anywhere these days. And to my surprise, I get to the venue, and it's a conference venue. And so sometimes conference venues can be a little bit, overused and abused. And so I looked up the reviews, and the reviews were pretty good, to be honest with you. And so that kind of gave me pause. I mean, gave me ease in making my decision. So I get to the venue, I get to the hotel, I check in, and I get to my room, and the room is like pretty nice. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is feel like money a little bit, right? And so that made me feel good. I end up going, I get jazzed up on my red dress and I get down to, the gala. So I don't know I only knew one person there, and that was the president of the organization whom I had been networking with and that had personally invited me to the event. And so, me being an introvert, it wasn't the most comfortable of spaces to being not knowing anybody and not being so familiar, but you do what you got to do. A girl's going to do what a girl's going to do. So I ended up, of course, meeting some people and engaging in conversation. And before you know it, the program started. So it wasn't really much room or necessity for small talk because there was an agenda, there was a program, there was a dinner, all of the things. So uh, the gala does what the gala does. I shook hands, kissed some proverbial babies, and I pranced my way right back to my room. Why? Because my feet were hurting. But I felt like I had checked my box, right? Or my boxes. I get up to my room, call it a night, and decided like I already had late checkout, and I decided that I'm gonna just sleep in. I'm not gonna rush, and I'm just gonna figure it out. Would you know that the next morning I woke up to like a stream of consciousness about something that I had been vacillating over for months? The stream of consciousness was the play by play on how I need to implement and execute this one thing that I have been pondering for what seems like forever, right? So I get this download, I get this stream of consciousness, and I kind of stay in that mode. Like I don't move. I keep a notebook at my bedside just because I hate to have a download and not catch it. But I stayed in the moment, like mentally and spiritually, just to let whatever come over me. And I just could not believe, I could believe it, but it was just like, I've been trying to figure this out for months. And here we are on this day, right? Now here comes the stream of consciousness. And while it was surprising that it came at that point, at that point in time. It wasn't surprising that it happened um, at that point in time, that it happened all together. And I say this because one of the things that I know is that a for sure trigger for the clarity that you may be praying for, that you may be grasping for, that you may be fighting for, is a change of scenery. Which is why, well, you can see, like, I'm normally in my office with my bookshelf behind me, like I'm in my kitchen, I'm at the kitchen counter, right? I do this intentionally from time to time, just even in the confines of my own home. But when I change my scenery, whether by choice or by force or just because just where life has taken me, it opens up like windows seemingly of clarity and possibility for me, and in a way that are traceable to success. If I were to retrace my steps, it's like, oh my gosh, I changed my scenery. And I talk about this in my book. I talk about the power of the pause and how it's something that I think is grossly overlooked when we are vying for clarity about what's next, when we are navigating what's next, right? And so this weekend proved yet again what I have been saying and what I have known for myself for years now, is that like there is power in the pause. And so for me to wake up with that stream of consciousness that I had, um, just a day after traveling a couple of hours, checking into this hotel and actually loving um, the room and the space that I was in, feeling like, yeah, this is in alignment with who I am, of who I have worked to become, and the type of space and room, from the hotel room to the gala room to the company that was around me in the gala, like there was alignment. And because of the alignment, some other things kind of bubbled up to the surface. And so there's three things that I want to offer to you in this moment to help you with gaining the clarity that you've been desiring about what's next, as well as, or maybe it's just like You have clarity on the big picture, but you're not sure what the next step is because you don't want to make the wrong decision or whatever your reasoning is for feeling stuck or staying stuck or not making the next move because you want it to be your best move. You don't want to make the wrong decision. You don't want to have to backtrack. You don't want to fail. You don't want to fall. You don't want to have any regrets. Listen, I get it. It's the story of my life. Okay. And I've lived beyond those moments to tell about it. And so the three things that I want to share with you: one, change your scenery. It could be something as um, quick and easy as changing, like if you are home based, right? You work remotely, maybe changing the space in your home every once in a while that you work in, just temporarily, right? So I used normally in my office, you'll see my bookshelf behind me. Now I'm in the kitchen, right? This is for me, not for you. This is for me. And I find that I have been extremely productive working in this space that I've created for myself, this temporary office, if you will. Over the last week, I have been super productive. So changing your space, changing your scenery, right? And it's not just when it comes to work, right? Sometimes we find ourselves um, undergoing a routine day in and day out, especially during the work week. Let's say if your work week is Monday through Friday, like you have your routine and your process down to a science. Why? Because it just helps you. That's one less thing you have to think about or plan for or consider, right? But even if when it comes down to like your routine and what you do and how you do it day in and day out, take a different route home, create some new neural networks, go down this street that you've always seen and passed by, but you've never taken, you don't know what's on the other side. Go down this street and connect those dots in the map of your brain. Do something different. Maybe if you always do video calls, do phone calls. I know in it's 2025 right now, right? Mostly everything is video call, video call. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I get tired of that quickly. And so I have started even in my business to offer just phone calls. And sometimes, some days when I'm totally zapped out, I may have had a video call scheduled and I'll get on the call and I'm like, hey, listen, I'm not gonna be on video. Like we can just have the conversation. People may get offended. That's a boundary I have to set in place for me because I have to manage my energy. But how can you change your scenery? What can you do? What big and small tweaks can you do? Maybe permanent or temporary, right? To change your scenery, to give you an opportunity to experience and feel in a different way. So that's the first thing. The second thing is to indulge in something that invokes like sensory overload. And so what I mean by that is do things that by doing them, the sheer nature of you doing the thing or things, you can't help but to forget about the problem that you are trying to solve day in and day out. This clarity that you are desperately trying to glean, right? Whatever those things are, do something that invokes sensory overload, whether it is a dining experience. It could be fine dining, whatever the case may be, right? Um, Something that I did recently. You may or may not know that I was sick a couple weeks ago. I caught COVID, and if you know anything about COVID, that this is my first go at it in all these years. It's nothing to be played with, and when it knocks you down, it knocks you down, right? So I really didn't feel like doing much of anything, right? It was kind of like confined and quarantined to my room. So I ended up watching this series on Netflix that was in Spanish. And it wasn't one of those shows where there's a voiceover, but what the actors and actresses are saying, like their mouths are saying something different than what you hear. No, the actors and actresses were like they were performing, and what they were saying is what I was hearing, but I don't speak Spanish fluently. So the closed captions like got me through it. And this was an extremely long series. But every time that I attempted to watch it, I had to stay engaged because I had to watch the captions because in order for me to follow what was going on. Now I know some words and some phrases in Spanish, but I'm not fluent, so I had to stay locked in. Now there were times when my I don't want to say that, but sometimes I would pick up my phone. There's a game that I like to play on my phone, and sometimes when I'm watching a show in English, I might engage in the game, but I'm still listening to the show, right? Just multitasking, if you will. And so I ended up doing that a couple times with the show, and I'm like, shoot, now I missed something because I wasn't paying attention to the closed captions. Now I got to rewind it. So why I'm saying this, and so this is a show that I engaged in, right? But it required the sensory overload was my attention to what was happening. Like I'm not thinking about anything else because not only am I watching the show and the storyline play out, I'm listening to the actors and actresses speaking Spanish, but I'm also having to read and digest the closed captions. Everything else is a blur. And so it could be something as simple as that. It could be something, you go out and, something that's been on like a bucket list or your to do list, just something that you have been deprioritizing that requires you to roll up your sleeves. Maybe it's some kind of activity. Maybe it's bowling. I don't know. Maybe it's going like we have a local flower truck that I've been wanting to experience. Maybe it's going and doing that or wanting putting together your own bouquet, doing something different that you normally don't do that for a moment requires you it forces you to forget about like your reality. And I find that even so I'm not sure how much you know about me, but my first business, which I still run and manage, is my main thing, is my photography business. Every time that I am on a photo shoot as the photographer, time stops. I don't care what's going on in my personal life or business life outside of the shoot. I forget about everything in the moment because I'm so entranced and immersed in what I'm doing. So immersing yourself in something that kind of like takes over your senses and kind of like force just a temporary moment forces you to forget about the problem that you have been actively mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually trying to solve in an effort to get this clarity that your soul desires. So the first thing is change your scenery. The second thing is indulge in something that requires sensory overload. And the third thing that I would offer you is work with a coach. And I'm talking about a coach that doesn't, so there's a difference between a coach and a mentor and a strategist, right? I put coach on one side and the mentor and the strategist on the other side. Now, a coach takes what it is that you want and what you're trying to do and ask you tons of questions around that to kind of help you find the answers that are already in you. And that may sound woo, it may sound like, oh, but let me tell you something, it can be life changing. And if it was just so easy, you would already have the answers you would already have your hands on the answers that you're looking for. Now you have the answers. I believe that answers are within you, right? And they probably have been staring you in the face, but you're just so consumed with it and bombarded with all of the ebbs and flows that come with adulting that you just haven't been able to crystallize it. And working with a coach, somebody who's trained to listen to you, listen to what you say, listen to what you don't say, and to help hold a mirror for you, right? And give and play back what it is that you say, and also offer sound observations, structured, supportive observations of the moment and the experience and what you're sharing, it can change the game and invoke some aha moments, i.e., clarity that you have wanted, right? And that continuous conversation around where it is that you are wanting to go, what it is that you're toiling with, and just unearthing some things. Coaching is a powerful, powerful weapon, it's a powerful tool, it's a powerful resource, it's a powerful life hack. So those are the three things that I want to leave with you in this moment around clarity. So instead of grasping for clarity, try doing those three things. And if you do something and you find that you the answer is kind of like just easily find their way to you because you chose to do something different or you chose to invoke one of those three things that I just mentioned, come back to this video wherever you watched it, and let me know. I'd love to hear more about your story. So listen, I am really excited because I am getting ready to host a never before hosted masterclass called Navigating What's Next. It's a masterclass for seasoned career professionals who feel stuck. If that is you, if I'm on your pew, then this masterclass is going to be for you. So, if you want to stay in the know, the best way, because we don't know how these algorithms are going to play when I post how you can register for the masterclass, go to my website or go to daniellethecoach.com, and subscribe to my email list. Or if you don't go to my website, if you're on Instagram, then you can go to the links in my bio and you can subscribe that way. If you're on YouTube and Facebook or LinkedIn, the link to subscribe is in the caption, along with some other tools and resources that you might find helpful in the meantime while I am pulling um, the strings behind the scene to bring this masterclass to life. I don't see any comments anywhere. Let's see. If you hear me live, hey, thank you for being here. If you caught the replay, do me a favor and type replay wherever you watch this, and I'll come back through and show you some love. I'll see you on the next one.